recording as well. Welcome, Karen. We're just going, oh, can you hear me? Welcome, Karen. We're just going straight into a meditation. Good timing.
Okay, I don't know if you can hear me. I can't think whether I've got things connected or not.
No, you're
just
good.
carry on.
You're good.
Okay,
No
good,
worries.
good.
Okay, right. So I was going to do a simple grounding breathwork meditation today, just because I've been getting the kind of feeling that this transition for people has been pretty intense, with the world opening up and kind of with National Earth Day last week as well, keeping our feet on the ground and reminding us of the ground and grounding. It's a really amazing tool for us when we feel like we're kind of a little bit lost or kind of just don't have those roots. So that has inspired me for today. And I will share this after if anyone wants to obviously read it back, or I can voice record it if you guys want it to use it as a regular meditation as well. So I just wanted to start by saying by now you may have noticed that the mind can be pretty noisy and that you may be worried that you aren't doing this right. Obviously we've had regular meditations now for the journey within, and a lot of you have been joining in with the evenings as well. But actually, this is exactly what meditation is supposed to be. It's going to be noisy. There's going to be thoughts. It isn't about stopping the thoughts. It's about being comfortable and allowing space for them. So if we're simply paying attention to these thoughts and just watching them come and go through this process. And when we pay attention, we're building our attention muscle, so that each time we catch ourselves having a thought, we bring ourselves back to strengthening that muscle so it's even stronger. And I like the analogy of it's like folding a piece of paper. The first time you fold it, it takes concentration and effort, but over time it gets easier and easier. Like any habit, we're just building that habit muscle. So I guess just wanted to start by saying be gentle with yourself. And actually it might be a really nice reference point to think back to the first time you meditated, back at the beginning of the journey, if that was new for you, and how far you've come and how comfortable you feel with this process now. Because actually, there's probably been a big shift there as well. So I want you to just get comfortable as we usually do. Do a few big shoulder rolls, maybe a nice big stretch if you've been sitting kind of down all day long, and slowly just let your breath settle. And if you want to, close your eyes. So as we sit down today, we're going to actually pay attention to our thoughts to start with. And just as you start this meditation, just notice what pops up. So what thought pops to the front of our mind? Are you thinking about what happened today? Are you thinking about something that you didn't quite finish before this session started? Or something about what needs to get done after this session today? I'd be interested to kind of just give a label to that thought, just to understand where that comes from. Because that tells us a little bit about some of those thoughts and how they're stubborn sometimes. So just notice it. And now take 3 cleansing breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Like always, we're feeling the breath fully and deeply, breathing into the chest and belly, your ribs, your back. And when you notice that thought pop up, just return to the sensation of the breath, noticing where you are breathing in your body. Maybe you notice the air as it touches your nose, fills your lungs like balloons in a 3-dimensional breath. And now you can return to that regular breath in and out through the nose. As usual, we take the time to check in with our environment. We notice any sounds around you, the hum of the ventilation system, noises from the street, or perhaps you can even begin to notice the sound of your breath. You're feeling yourself into this environment, being fully present, catching yourself if you notice a thought, noticing it, letting it pass in a bubble above your head. Noticing your seat, your bum or your seat on the chair or the floor, your feet when they touch the floor, and perhaps the air on your skin. So noticing all those tiny sensations around you. And pay particular notice to those feet on the floor. It's important to remember that we're always supported by the earth. Sometimes we feel unstable or ungrounded. And actually having our feet physically on the floor can be such an amazing reminder about the fact that we are supported as a collective, supported by something bigger. And we're going to begin to scan your body from here. So maybe with the soles of our feet, calves, thighs, joints, internal organs, and really tune in to feeling the body, the whole body, and any particular areas of tension that you notice. And we don't usually start to ask ourselves about any emotions we may be experiencing in our bodies, but I want you to give some kind of time to notice that today, as well as any physical areas of tension in your body. Is there any emotions that are cropping up? Any emotions that are sitting in parts of your body, or anything that's niggling you, that's making you feel unsettled? And just notice that feeling or that emotion without any judgment, without any labels. Just let it be there in this moment. Again, back to those thoughts. Let them pop up and then drift away. And I want you to start repeating our mantra here. So on our inhalation, we're going to repeat breathing in, I feel calm. And on our exhalation, I want you to say breathing out, I smile. And again, when you're meditating and when your thoughts get too much, you can always come back to that mantra because it can really keep you grounded in that moment. Breathing in, I feel calm. Breathing out, I smile. Breathing in, I feel calm. Breathing out, I smile. And just for the end of this meditation now, we're going to allow yourself to let your mind go completely free. Expanding your awareness completely. And noticing how far back you can zoom out. Okay, and we're going to bring our awareness back to our bodies now. So maybe you notice those feet on the ground again. Maybe you wiggle those toes. Maybe you notice the temperature of the air on your skin. Any sounds from outside the room. Any smells. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and come back to the room. That was a good time to arrive, Karen, straight in. Are you okay? Yeah. Just give yourself some time to arrive if it's been a hard day. Just well done for being here. Just sit and listen. That's nothing. You don't need to do anything more than that right now. Okay. How was that, guys? How was it to just have a bit of space? Were our minds very busy today, or did we settle into that a little bit more easily than normal?
When you said about your thoughts, I didn't know that that is where my head was, but when you were like, that task that you didn't quite finish or the thing that you afterwards, I was like, both of those. I didn't know it until you told me, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, there's often a really stubborn thought pattern that like is really repetitive. We have 70,000 thoughts a day and 80% of them are negative. And there's usually like a few common ones, and they often, if you give them a label and almost say I see you, it helps you then relax into letting it go. And a lot of this is consciously being aware of that and then being able to fight it, rather than if you don't know what it is and how it's bugging you, it's very hard to kind of let it go almost. So it can be useful sometimes to yeah, to call it out.
So the funniest thing, I've had this mammoth task that I've been avoiding because I knew how big it was. And today I had a meeting with my business partner. We sat down from 10:30 till 3:00, just working on this one task. And we probably got about 80% of the way through. And somehow I have held on to, oh my gosh, there's still 20%, rather than, oh my goodness, we just did 80% of that mammoth thing. So it was nice to just like have a little reminder.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that's the thing. It's natural for our mind to focus on that 20% negative. It's just so easy for our mind to think of the negative rather than reframe to the positives. We just got to work a bit hard at that. Awesome. Amazing. And we've arrived. So we are going to spend probably about 20 minutes focusing on those of you that want to share something today. And it can be as little or as long as you want. And actually, for those that don't want to in the physical sense, you could always share something over email or a chapter or you know, in your own way, because I know Eurasia is going to share something post session as well. So there's an invitation there. If there's something stopping you from delivering that vocally today, then you know you can hold on that thought as well. But yeah, there's just an invitation for us to kick off before we kind of celebrate each other, on you guys that have almost been able to create some of that or started that, you know, this week. And I was going to actually go to Geeta first, if you didn't mind, Geeta, because I know you have done this before, and I know you've sent me almost what you've created, but I wanted, rather than guide you on what I think you should share, I'd love you to just share the bit that you are excited about sharing. And maybe it's, I don't know, maybe it's the add-on. I don't know if you added on anything to your story, but I'd love to hear, you know, where you're at with that. Oh, I think you're on mute, my love. I thought that it was my computer then. There we go.
Yeah, hi. Sorry. Yeah, I think the kind of mood I'm in, I think I just want to the future. Well, it's kind of where I'm at, which is obviously my present right now. And I don't know, I guess it kind of falls in line with everything maybe what we've talked about. And I think the course has made me feel like a lot of this is coming to the front, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
okay. Sorry, I'm just finding the bit sorry. Okay, so I've just got this a couple of paragraphs I thought if I could share.
Please do.
Okay, so I've got the importance of self-love now is something I hold close to myself. Taking time for oneself, constantly looking for ways to improve and ultimately to be happy. Recently, I've ventured out of my comfort zone, started to look at methods to make me happy. I looked at answering questions that I had suppressed or not acknowledged, stopped looking at how to people please and looked at ways to please me. Becoming focused on what I want in my life instead of what others think is good for me, I've achieved a new sense of power that I rejoice and want to share. I've fully embraced this change with the new challenges, not just being a mother, a partner. I have made new connections with inspiring women that have helped me to uncover mine and their gifts and wonderful qualities. I feel we all inspire each other to be the best that we can. Exposing the many layers of myself, this has been done by the help of coaches that I've worked with, each with their unique ability to draw something new out of me. I'm constantly wanting to undertake new learnings to self-develop. This past year, I've tried to live my life authentically and to align to create my happiness. I recently shared some hang-ups on social media and the response was shocking. Being vulnerable allowed others to face their own battles and to be honest. Then I realized I'm not alone. Everyone has their own vulnerability, but no one talks about it. And because it's seen as a weakness, I do believe now, after these challenges, I am enough, and I hope to encourage others to be authentic. I am forever learning and discovering myself. And ultimately, my dream is to give this back and to help other women see their worth. I aim to gain my counselling certificate and much more. I would really love to become a coach, having my own wellbeing practice that looks at a person's well-being holistically, mind, body. Sorry, I've got lost it. Mind and body. And therapy, to me, that goes hand in hand.
Wow.
Sorry, it's so strange to read that out loud.
It's important though too, isn't it? Because it's a different experience. And I don't know if you've read that out loud before, you probably haven't, but that tells you a lot about how you feel when you deliver it, and you're manifesting that into the world too, you know. And I think this is very much making that real. So thank you so much for sharing that. I feel like it just gave me goosebumps. It's so many parts, and I love the fact that you've been so clear about what's next as well, because that's what this is all about, what you've got to feel for, you're like, and where you're going next.
Thank you.
Anyone else want to ask Gator any questions? Share, just loads of love hearts.
Just
Loads of love hearts.
friends on Facebook, and already you are empowering and you're spreading that love like amazingly. Whenever I see your post pop up, I'm like, I love that. It's amazing. So
thank you.
Yeah, that's what I noticed too. You were already doing it, and I think that's what you realized, isn't it, the other week? Like, actually, I've been doing it all along, but I maybe didn't realize that that's what I was doing. And it's about,
yeah, exactly.
If I consciously do this, what's possible, you know? Because I was kind of doing it already, but not necessarily realizing how much of an impact it was making to people.
That's right. After the session,
Your Geeta's basically going to be part of my, well, I'm going to have a guinea pig of being Geeta being my guinea pig for the Whole New World program. So there's a bit on it in this stuff of the last module, but it's all about people basically taking a passion and then turning it into like action. So it's not really about business coaching at all. It's about getting some momentum around understanding like what your life purpose is, and then actually building something around that that's real. And this is kind of what we've said here around the Facebook stuff already being very real and delivering impact, but actually if it had a container or it had a strategy around it, what, you know, imagine what's possible from that place. So it'll be really amazing to work with you on that, Geeta, and kind of almost, yeah, shape that together really. Thanks for responding to my invitation. Sorry, Yasmin, you go.
No, Geeta, I love your hair. You look amazing as well. You're just like perfect.
Thank you.
Awesome. Right, anybody else fancy jumping in and sharing? Who would like to go next?
I'm happy to share something.
Okay.
I've had a bit of a manic week, so I haven't really looked at it that much, but I used your template and started there. So I'll share how I filled out the template.
Perfect.
So I was at a point in my life where I'd completely lost myself and all confidence I had in my own thoughts and feelings. So on the 1st of February, I started the journey within to try and work my way back towards some sort of acceptance and love for the person I am now. On the first day before my session, I was excited but apprehensive about what was to come. My program goals were all based on finding and loving myself again. And I must admit that when I wrote my goals down, I was having a little laugh to myself, thinking that these goals were far too big to achieve. As I moved through childhood essence, I found myself becoming negative and felt like I was looking for blame. I did, however, realize that the childhood version of me was confident, fun, and free. Next came setting my compass and in turn unearthing my values, which I felt even before starting the program would be a huge part of my journey. And that's all I've got.
Thank you so much, Georgie. And I'm glad the template helped, because this is something that might take you guys weeks, months, you know, so that it's about starting this process right now in this, you know, in this container. And that's why I wanted to have the freedom of one, like, you know, either writing a whole book, a chapter, or literally just a paragraph or a sentence, or even not at all. So I think that's a really nice place to start, isn't it? You know, and then see and explore how you want that to continue.
Yeah, no, definitely. It was super helpful because I was thinking, especially with the week I've had, I was thinking I can't even start this. And then I thought, no, actually I can. With the template, I can start writing some stuff and get it straight in my head. So it was exactly what I needed. Thank you.
Awesome. No, you're welcome. You're welcome. And yeah, I guess I just want to say again, you know, it's about not knowing that if you don't feel like it's ready to be written or has an ending or anything right now, maybe it's not meant to be, because actually this 12 weeks is a container to support you guys. But actually this is almost probably unearthed like quite a lot that you need to sit with and settle in your own time. And I think that's important for me to say, even though this is 12 weeks, you've really only just begun, because actually it's about putting this into action now and understanding how it all fits in your own time through your lived experience. You know, so yeah, I guess it's just important for me to keep saying that, because it's not about tying it up in a bow and putting the book, you know, and you know, it's not about having it done already at all. Thank you for sharing, love.
Thank you.
Anyone else want to share anything?
So I haven't written mine because I was feeling, well, some of you saw me last week. I was particularly emotional. I'm kind of going through this fairly hectic phase, and I haven't been giving myself the space that I need to do this. And up until this point, I felt really, really focused on it. And I just have felt so overwhelmed with everything else that the prospect of writing it was almost not making me feel good, because I knew I wasn't giving it my all. So I contacted Natalie and just said, I'm gonna hold fire, because I really do. I want to go through this stage by stage kind of life story process. And even just listening to you guys give yours has kind of made me be like, yes, like I need to do this. I want to do this. I totally can do this. So I was having a bit of a wobble, but I'm feeling so much better. And I've really, really loved the process. So I will be doing it. I just haven't done mine yet.
Yeah, and you might want to start with that template, and that might be all you want to write right now. It might be just focusing on the journey element of the story and not going any bigger than that. You know, so yeah, sit with that, but there's no right or wrong. But thank you for sharing. So I think everyone sometimes it's important to share that, because we're all feeling the same often, but we don't feel like we are. We feel like we're the only one. Awesome. How are we feeling, Molly, Karen, Carolyn? I've got lots of quiet. You don't have to share anything, but do you want to say anything? Explain how you're feeling at all?
I've written quite a positive picture of my future.
Oh,
I could read that.
yeah. If you'd be happy to, we'd love to hear it.
It's quite short and not very exciting. So I put, the future I'm envisioning is that going back to university turns out to have been the right decision for me. I meet new people, enjoy learning something new, and master the challenge. It's a gut-driven decision and feels like a first step to take my life more actively into my own hands. Sorry, I don't know why I'm crying. I will move to a place with a bigger garden and be living there in a little paradise. This new place has sufficient space to have guests, and it will be a place for people to meet. Job-wise, I will finally have an idea of something that lights me up and can pay the bills. very quiet thoughts are starting to form that I may start my own business and leave the security of a corporate job. I'm in balance with myself and don't have the constant feeling of having to perform well. It's something that drains my energy. I do perform well, but in things I believe in and that strengthen me. I have a crew around me that is there for me, and I am there for. That's all. Sorry.
Please don't say sorry. Like, you know, it's really empowering and emotional to say, to honor like what you want for yourself, you know. And I think it takes so much courage, Carolyn. So thank you so much for sharing. You know, and being so clear about what you want and what's coming through, because if we're not clear, we can't manifest the life we want, you know. Thank you so much. It's an inspiration.
I think you're awesome, Carolyn.
Thank you.
I love this. I love you. I love you all. It's amazing. I love it. Right.
I think it's a big hug.
Yeah, I know. We just need to be in person in the field where we're all dancing around the fire, and then we could actually hug too one day. Yeah, it's interesting because like I've just organized my first physical event in Wallingford at Santosha Wellbeing, if any of you know it. But it's going to be so nice to do a physical thing again. But I think there's so much power in actually doing this online though as well, because actually we have our safe space, and I think we're sharing really emotional stuff, but we're in our safe place. And I wonder, I don't think I'll ever run this in person, because I do feel like there's something special about the fact that we feel like we are sharing, but we're protected in that in some way. I'm getting lots of nodding. You know, so it's interesting, isn't it, what we've created here? It's so special, and I don't think it's replicable actually in the physical environment in the same way. As a one-off it is, but not as a 12-week journey, I think.
Maybe for me, I think physical is actually really nice to really meet people, because I don't know.
Yeah, cool.
Chat during breaks or whatever. I think you get to know people.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I think I'll definitely have to think about that, and think about maybe it's a blend, maybe there's a bit of both, you know. I haven't decided yet, but it'll be interesting to see. Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much.
I'm excited to see how that all pans out.
Yeah, well, that's why the alumni is amazing, because we can keep in touch and it's not the end, you know. And I think I am planning a little bit around what that's going to look like from June, so I'll send some details around, but it'll be a monthly call. But I absolutely want you guys to share your wins, your quick wins, or your, like, you know, your big celebrations in the kind of Slack channel, because that's what it's about. Maybe one of you have like had a really hard day, but actually you know, look back and you see a massive growth, you know, opportunity in that or something. And I think that's really important, because actually that some of that might have not started yet. You may have not been able to embed some of this yet in that short time frame. So yeah, that's what that space is for. So we're not going anywhere.
And also, Carolyn, when you get your space to entertain guests, we're all coming. We're there.
We're waiting for the invite. Yeah, we'll be hanging outside the door. Are we allowed?
I will let you know if that really happens.
It will happen. Yeah. Amazing. Karen, Molly, how are we doing? Talk to me.
I don't mind sharing. Just I've got like the tiny little bit of paragraph from last week. I am the same as Yasmin. I haven't done what was in the email just yet. But this bit I quite like. So I think like last week was quite emotional for me, because I think a lot of mine is around shame. So I don't really like talking about it, just because I do feel, I feel like we have moved, society has moved, but there's still a lot of shame around kind of like more physical mental health. So for me, I find it quite shameful. So I've put, to close this subchapter, I'm proud of how I've achieved. My biggest learning was letting go. I'd sum up the experience in one word, and that one word is metamorphosis. Before the program, I was hiding, and now I feel like I'm progressing. So
Oh, amazing. I love that. And yeah, metamorphosis is like your absolute word, and the image that like sums everything up, doesn't it? And you said about that tattoo as well, Molly, as being your kind of, yeah, your reminder that it's always been there.
Sorry, I can't see a butterfly without thinking of Molly now.
I know. I know.
And I asked for a sign for a butterfly last week. And when it came, it was like Molly again. So every time I see a butterfly, I just see you. So it's so nice to ask for them and they come.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that.
Yeah,
It's almost
that's
a sign via Molly. It's lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing, Molly. And again, what I will say is, like, you know, feel free, if you 3 months, 6 months, a year, 5 years, if you want to write a chapter and share it back with me, please do. Like, please use me as that sounding board if you want to show up by just sharing it with someone, so it doesn't just be written and kind of put away in a drawer, you know, to bring it to life. Because this is what this is about. It's about, like the Brené Brown quote of like owning it, you know, not just writing it, but owning it and actually being proud of it. That's different. Like, you know, acknowledging it and then being proud of it and then shouting about it from the rooftop, you know, that's the step-by-step process, but that isn't going to feel comfortable straight away. You know, we're kind of the uncomfortableness of it will subside in time, but it's a big thing that you're kind of doing here. So don't be surprised that you're not suddenly like running around town like sharing it with people, you know, because it doesn't happen like that. You know, it takes some time.
I think also, like, it hasn't helped that in the like last few, well, probably like 2 months, I've been quite ill, and like my body is physically showing that. So then some part of me feels like I've stepped back, but I haven't. So that's quite hard for me to break through. But yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's why last week was quite emotional.
Yeah, and it's never a back or a forward. It's just, it's not a linear path, like it isn't. And I think everything we get taught is like A to B, straight line, you know, and actually it's not. The, you know, the healing journey and personal development journey is not. It's as rough as hell, up and down, you know, it just isn't meant to be. So I think embracing the fact that that's okay is really important, because actually that's what makes it beautiful, you know, really, that duality of those extremes that come with it. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. Karen, how are you doing? Don't say anything if you don't want to. Just listen if you want to. I just don't want to miss you out. But we're going to go on to the kind of the second part now, where you're going to read out your statements to the person that you've been given today. Amazing.
Sorry, guys, I haven't got the strength.
You're fine. That's fine, Karen. I'd love you to just listen if you're comfortable to be here and just sit in the background. But if you need to go, that's fine too. I don't want you to be here if it doesn't feel right to be here. It's completely your choice.
I don't know if it feels right or not. I'm just...
Well, just sit at the moment, and if you disappear, you disappear. There's no judgment. So just see how you... No problem. Okay, right. So I am going to go first, because I am going to read out Eurasia's statements for Carolyn, actually. So I am going to just get them back in front of me, and then off we go.
Right, guys, do we all have our tissues?
Yeah, I know. Right, okay. And what I'm going to do, like I said to you guys, when we have our one-to-one, I'm going to do this for each and every one of you and deliver it in person as well. But I thought it was a really nice way to do this for each other too. Okay, so where did she send
Natalie, do you want me to like send this to Eurasia separately, or should I say it now so she can hear it in the recording?
Yeah, I think that would be really nice, actually, Molly, for you to hear, like, so she can physically hear it, and then maybe send it on Slack as well, because there's something different about hearing it in person live.
Yeah, unless we do like a little, well, she'll hear it now, but maybe I could do it at the beginning of the next one.
Yeah, you could do it twice, but why don't you kick off then, in that sense of, and do Eurasia's, and then I'll kick off.
Yeah, shall I?
because Karen, and that'll be our order then. So you're starting off with.
Okay. Do you want me to say the question first or just the?
Yeah, read the
whatever?
question and then the answer.
Okay, let me just get the questions up. Okay, so so I did mine for you, Eurasia. I know you're watching this. What inspires me about you, your fire and your go get attitude. And then what I see when you enter the room, self-belief and personal awareness. I feel like even though we're on Zoom, you definitely have this kind of like, I'm going to describe it as this because you'll feel like you'll love it, as a kind of like if Beyonce was to walk into the room, I feel like that's you. I know she's going to love me saying that. And actually that's quite funny. So my answer to question 3, which is where is the email? What my vision is of you, it's like running your own business. So I guess you can imagine that we're all secretly singing run the world, and building a gang of like people who respect you and follow a similar path of values. I'm said similar because I feel like you're definitely someone that likes to be in a room of people that will talk their own feelings. I feel like you wouldn't want to be sat with a room full of people who agree with you. I feel like you've got this kind of fire in there. You want people to have their own opinion too. And then I can imagine that you would create, I think the last question is what's next for you? So kind of creating your own program, working independently on it, and then bringing together a team of lions.
Lions, I love that. Oh my God, Molly, that's beautiful. I love it. I can't wait for her to watch this back. It's going to be special. I think there's definitely something about hearing it. So thank you for doing that. Amazing. And I guess one thing I would say is if there's anyone else that wants to chip in when the person has delivered that and you just want to throw in a word about someone, please feel free. So if anyone wants to just shout out anything, just so you all can share about each other rather than only just share about one person. So feel free to just do that as and when the feeling just takes over you. You can just shout or scream a word. It's fine.
I think Molly totally hit the nail on the head when she was reading it. I was like, yes, yes, yes.
Very intuitive. Molly, you're very intuitive, aren't you? Yeah. I feel like with Eurasia, there's so much guiding energy there. Like she's so natural at wanting to help people, and she will be a coach in the future. And I can't wait for her to be in that space where she's comfortable in that space and owning it, because there's still almost a bit of apprehension that doesn't need to be there. And it's going to be so beautiful to see that. And like Molly said, be that guide almost, because I think the Jay Shetty type as well with the Dharma quiz, it really summed that up for her. So it's I can't wait. There's going to be a lot of power there. Amazing. Okay. I will share the one about Carolyn from Eurasia, if that's okay now. Okay, so she said, here's what I would love to share about Carolyn. Thank you for reading it out for me. So what inspires me about Carolyn is that you have this calming energy that makes it easy to talk to you. I always feel like when I'm in a room with you, I've been listened to every sense of, in every sense of the word, and understood when I'm talking to you. And when you enter the room, I see a wonderful woman who takes things in her stride. My vision for you is to share your beautiful energy with others and carry out your life purpose. And when I think of what's next for you, it's to go out there and implement some of what you've learned. Use this group as your cheerleaders and sounding board when you get stuck. And we'd love to hear how things have shaped up or changed for you post-program. I can't wait to see the ripple effect that you will have in the world. And it's really nice that they had each other, because these Carolyn and Eurasia have known each other a little bit longer as well. So it's nice that she's been able to see your journey, or the extent of it, over that 6 months rather than 3 as well. Carolyn, how did that feel to receive that?
Yeah, very nice. She's always finds very nice words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You make us all calm though. You know, I just feel like, yeah, there's such a calming energy.
Thank you. Calming when not crying all the time.
Okay, so Carolyn, who are you sharing about? Remind me. Oh,
I have Karen.
Georgie's dropped out. I think she's just messaged me saying, oh no, I don't know what's happened. Let me just quickly check her message. She said, something is happening with my computer. Okay, I might just say, do you want to sign in on your phone? Oh, there you go. She's back. Perfect. Okay, perfect. Carolyn, over to you.
Okay, Karen. What inspires me about you? You come across very strong and at the same time very vulnerable and open to try new things. I think this is a very feminine way of leading and being, and a great skill. To me, you look like someone I can trust. What I see when you enter the room, I see warm and caring energy. You come across positive, encouraging, and very supportive. I can see you being a mother of a big family or a whole team, ensuring everyone is well, seeing the strength in people and enabling them to live to their strength. And I think the next two are mixed a little bit. What my vision is for you, that you will find a new job that is more social and caring, more in the community, but where you can use the skills you have learned in your professional and personal life so far. And what is next for you post-program? As I said before, I think you come across very strong, and I can imagine that people are relying on you, and thanks to you, things work out for other people around you. I think for you, the current time is very much a crossing where you can choose to let control go, put yourself more at the center rather than other people, and try something unknown. Following your heart is one option, and the other is to stay with what you're familiar with, similar type of job and all that. I think it will take a lot of courage to follow your own heart instead of responding to the calls of other people, but I'm sure you can do it, and I think this journey within has been the first step to do that. So as you've chosen this journey, I think you're opting to jump into the cold water. I have absolutely no doubt that you will find a new job, something that fulfills you and where you can use your experiences so far.
Wow. I'm just...
Wow.
I was going to say she's always crying, but she's not going to stop now.
I was overwhelmed before I came on the call, and thank you, Carolyn. That is something I'm going to play back as well, and I'm going to capture, because even though you've only known me for like 12 weeks, a lot of what you said is already, really so true. But you said some very poignant things there, about my future, and I really am at that crossroads, if you like. And maybe, I should follow my heart. But thank you. It was really lovely to listen to that. Thank you.
No, thank you for receiving it. We see each other in this, and this is about, it's powerful. It's powerful. And I love that you said the crossing, Carolyn, because actually that's a part of the course for a reason. But actually it's okay if you're still crossing over, you're still in that stage of the crossing, because it's about the choice now. You have all the information, but you've got to trust and know that we've got it all within us. And actually that head and heart conflict, it takes a bit of time to sit with, you know, and that's why it isn't going to suddenly be there in 12 weeks. So yeah, I love that, because I think everyone's resonating with the fact that that takes time, that intuition muscle, that, you know, we're training ourselves to listen from within, you know, and if we've not done it our whole lives, it's going to take a bit of time, and that's okay. And Karen, would you like to share yours about Georgie, or do you feel up to it, or would you rather to pop it in an email to her? It's completely up to you.
Mine was with Gita, wasn't
Oh,
it?
or was it Gita? Oh, sorry. Was
Yeah.
it Gita? Sorry.
So a bit like Yasmin, I've had an absolutely hectic week, and I only started to look yesterday at the email. So I haven't done any homework, and I really thought I would flow with the life story and the template. I was really keen to do that, and I'm really cross and sad that I didn't do that. So I'm sorry to let you down.
That's okay. That's fine. And maybe it's something you could record for Gita and send on Slack. You know, you can deliver the personal message. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be right now. We've got the rest of our lives. You know, we are going to be here holding each other after today. So please, you know, share that between you. You know, Gita would love to hear it. I can see her nodding.
Yeah, I will definitely do it, because to be on the receiving end of, you know, for example, everyone else sharing with everyone it's quite amazing. It's lovely to, you know, hear other people's reflections of me, and, you know, I'm sure everyone's feeling the same. So I'm sorry, Gita, that I've not come prepared.
You don't need to be sorry.
But worry not. I will complete that as a minimum, and I really cannot wait. Again, like Yasmin said, I really want to finish this. Not finish this chapter, but the life story will make it so complete for me. It really will, and it's flowing. It's there, and I'm cross with myself that I've allowed other situations just to take over
it wasn't meant to be. Like, trust that happened for a reason. You weren't meant to do it this week, Karen. That you weren't meant to do it. You know, if it was meant to be now, it would be easy. So actually, you're not meant to do that right now. Sit with it until the time is right.
And it was one of my crew members that convinced me to join this tonight, because I really didn't feel I had strength to, but I'm glad I did.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, because it's when you feel like that, it's a massive step to be here, you know, and that's more than enough. So please don't punish yourself anymore.
Thank you.
We're glad you're here, Karen.
Thanks, peeps.
We've got you. Amazing. Okay, Gita, would you like to share about Yasmin?
Yes, I didn't write a lot actually, but it just felt like this is exactly what I wanted to say. I just put, what inspires me about Yasmin is that she always feels like a positive force. It always seems to see the good in situations rather than being negative. Yasmin has such openness, yet a vulnerability about her. But to me, this ultimately makes me feel more connected to her. I feel when Yasmin enters the room, she fills it with light as bright as sunshine, and she's gentle and has a lovely warm energy. She radiates beauty inside and out. My vision for Yasmin is that all that she has learned up until now will bring her to a true peace and the confidence to fully be who she wants to be and show up authentically. I didn't know what to put for the last question, because I feel like Yasmin she's there and she's doing everything, you know, all the I's and the T's, you know, everything's dotted. I feel like when I listen to what she's doing at work, it's all kind of coming about. So I didn't want to add on to that, because it just felt she's already there.
Yeah.
So, There you go. That's my love heart to you.
Peter, that was lovely. Thank you so much. It was really nice because all the things you said feel like that is exactly what I would love you to feel. And all the things I want to embrace more about myself, because I find it really hard to take nice stuff. So it's really, really lovely to hear that that's what you get, because that's what I want you to get. So I love that. Thank you.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much. I feel like I'm just digesting all of this. I feel like, yeah, it's a lot, but it's so amazing to hear this, like, physically. So I'm glad we did this. I know it's big, but I'm glad because it's important. Yeah. Yasmin, over to you, love.
I kind of smushed the last two into one. I'm doing Geordie. So, okay. Your kindness, your compassion, and your smile inspire me. When you enter the room, I see positivity and happiness. I feel your warmth and it moves me. My vision for you is that you keep blooming into who you really are, slowly and beautifully becoming even more you every day. You already have all that you need inside of you. You have the courage, the strength, and the passion to grow. Keep radiating your warmth and remember that you too are important. Be kind to yourself and find time for yourself. Next comes reconnecting and accepting your whole self, your true self, your wonderful, worthy self, just as you are, with boundaries and an action plan to keep fueling your fire and your freeness and continuing along your wonderful generator path.
Wow.
Thank you, Yasmin.
No worries.
Wow.
I don't know what to say. Just thank you.
You're
You're wonderful. Thank you.
You don't need to say anything, you just need to hear it because it's true, and receiving that is uncomfortable, but it's so true in every single way for each and every one of you. You know,
I'm just so grateful for all of you, honestly. Now it's my turn. Sorry, Molly, let me get myself together.
I didn't think about my order, did I? The cry, I didn't quite nail that anyway.
Okay. Our marvelous Molly, I'm inspired by your strength and resilience. When you enter a room, I see somebody who is fiercely kind and a beautiful person inside and out. I must admit that I often think of a butterfly now when I think of you. My vision for you is that you realize just how beautiful you are inside and out, and that you start to feel that when you don't try and control everything, beautiful things can happen to you too. Next, I see a continued love for Jay Shetty and his wife in a good way, and you developing into a wonderfully strong and powerful yoga teacher.
Wow.
Said I was not going to cry today, but
Sorry, Molly.
that was so nice. Thank you.
Wow. Goosebumps. You know, that's only a tiny sprinkle of what you guys deserve to hear about how authentic and beautiful you are. You know, it's crazy that that is something we don't hear, or that feels so vulnerable to hear, because each and every one of you have such a bright light. And I wish that, I don't know, I just wish that this wasn't such a rare thing to experience, because it's so powerful. But thank you so much for doing that activity, everyone, because I think it just shows how much you've been seen through this whole process, both ways, and shared kind of in so many more ways than we realize, I think, actually. we're all there in each other's corner, you know, post program as well. And I think that that's going to be a massive tool to keep us all rooted actually in who we're becoming. I'm trying to hold myself together, but I don't think I'm going to be, I feel like I'm going to fall into a heap when this ends. Anyone want to share anything? I'm aware that it's been a lot today. And I'd love, yeah, anyone that feels like they want to say anything that they've not said to kind of close the session off, please do.
Natalie, I just wanted to say one thing about you. So we had last week at work, we had some training on unconscious bias, and we had to pick 4 people in our life that we truly trust. And I haven't even met you in person. You were one of them. So I really do feel like I could pick up the phone and call you, and anything that I would say would be, you would accept. So
thank you
very much.
That means so much to be seen in that way, because that's exactly what I want you to feel like. And this is the first ever time I've been that guide. So thank you. That's really amazing to hear, because I
kind of feel like that whole quote of like long distance relationships don't work is not true.
Yeah, right. Like there's so much power in true connection and just seeing each other vulnerably, you know. So thank you. I'm glad, because I wouldn't be here without you guys as well. You know, you've been the first ones to trust me to guide you. You know, we were lucky we ended where we were. It could have gone horribly wrong. But thank you.
You are 100% the lighthouse. Your statement is you, for sure. We're all on that journey, and it's because of the way you've guided us. And you just used the word vulnerable, and you totally have been. You've been so honest and authentic with us, but you've also managed to hold us so safely and make us feel secure. So you've done so well. It's been amazing.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. And I can't wait to digest all that feedback too, of the bits that I want to hold and change and move and adapt as well, because there's so much of this that is just still so new and I want to refine it. But I also really like that maybe it's unfinished. I like that it's not meant to be perfect. So thank you for allowing it not to be perfect.
I think for us, you have created a perfect space. So yeah,
we were meant to be here. We were all meant to be here as 7 of us. We were all meant to be here in you know, each and every way. I believe that wholeheartedly, and I know that so many of you will be such a big part of my future and me with yours. Like I know it's so much bigger than this. Sounds strange, but it really is.
I feel like I should have written something for you, Natalie.
No, I don't want it. I don't want it. No,
I'll send it to you. I just want to say, like, I'm gonna miss you all so much. Like, I know that sounds ridiculous because we don't even really know each other, but then today we've kind of proved that we do know each other more than we thought. But you've been such a huge part of my journey, and I couldn't have done it without every single one of you. You all bring something so different and so amazing to this space. I really am grateful for you all.
Yeah. You know, it shows the power of showing up vulnerably, right? Because if we were vulnerable and authentic in every part of our lives, imagine what we could create. It's a reminder of, like, if we can do this with strangers, which we were 12 weeks ago, some of us, what's possible from this place if actually we allow ourselves to go into relationships in this way. It's just mind-blowing, isn't it? You know, and the ripple effect of that, if you know, us showing up differently with those around us, and actually, yeah, it's beautiful. Thank you so much, everybody. And I hope that this was what you expected and that you weren't too uncomfortable sharing. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you for doing this, because I know it hasn't been easy. And it's an ongoing conversation. So actually, if something's come up around someone else you didn't share, well, please message them on Slack, send them a direct message, and celebrate them over this next week before we have our fun social. It's about celebration and closing. So do sit with anything that you feel is unsaid to each other or to the group. And that's an invitation, you know, for you to kind of close this in whatever way you want to, that feels right for you. And like I said, I'm really grateful for all of that feedback stuff. I know it's annoying, other things to do in that Survey Monkey, but it really is so powerful for me to be able to just make sure that this can benefit even more people. And yeah, I can't wait to see you all. I'm so glad we're following straight on with a session next Thursday, because I don't think I'd want it any other way. We've only got to wait 10 days. And like I said, we'll be sending out some info just about what to expect for that session. But yeah, I'm so glad as well that I've saved the one-to-ones, because again, it feels like that's going to be really nice to hold us in this energy of actually bringing this to a close. And I've said to some of you, I said to Yasmin today, if you want to use that in 3 months' time, there's no end date. Yes, I want you to kind of make sure you do it, but don't rush that process. I want it to be when you feel ready to come back to me, and I'll wait for you. Yes, I might give you a nudge, but please don't rush that. I want it to feel like the right time to follow up one-to-one, okay? Amazing. Thank you everyone so much. And I will be here probably for 15-20 minutes if anyone wants to stay on or chat through anything. But I love you all immensely. Thank you so much for sharing this with me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
You okay? Oh, she's going.